Students, today we are going to start our syllabus about IP. IP means informatics practices. So first unit is basic computer organization. In that we will see about what is a computer, what are its processes, what are the components and what type of operations the computer perform. Let us start with first one. So this is a block diagram of computer. Firstly, we will see what is meant by computer. The term computer is derived from the word compute. Compute means to calculate. It is an electronic device which perform arithmetic and logical operations. Basically, there are three stages. One is a input, second one is a processing, and third one is a output process. So in that, when user enters data using input devices, that data is transferred to the processing unit, or we can call as a CPU. The CPU get processed that data and transfer the processed data into the output devices. So there are basic components. First one input devices, second one CPU, and third one is a output devices. In that, in case of CPU, you can see that there is a arithmetic and logical unit, control unit, and the memory unit. So arithmetic means which perform the arithmetic operations. Logical unit means which performs logical operations such as a greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, not equal to, like that. Control unit just controls the processing of the CPU. And the memory unit, these are the memories which are used to store data which is required for the processor or which is required for the CPU. Then in that, first part comes to the microprocessor. A microprocessor is a computer processor on a microchip. It's sometimes called as a logic chip. It is the engine that goes into motion when you turn your computer. Our microprocessor is designed to perform arithmetic and logical operations that make use of small number of holding areas called a register. In short, for processing CPU or for processing processor, there is a need of memory, and that memory is called as a registers, which stores the current memory of the processor. Then comes to about memory units. So memory units means these are used to store data on a temporary basis for the processor. Then in that, next one we will see one by one. So first one is the input devices. So we have seen now input devices mean that means the devices which are used to provide input to the system. In that, very basic is a keyboard. Next one is a mouse. Then barcode reader is there. Then microphone is there. A joystick is there. Then light pen, MICR, scanner, and OCR. OCR means optical character reader. Scanner means which scans data documents in the form of images or the docs. Then microphone is there, which is also used for input devices. Then gaming devices are there, such as a joystick is there. Then gaming console is there. All these are comes under input devices. Then web camera is there, mic is there. So all these devices are input devices. Next one, output devices. A speaker, monitor, printer, projector, plotter, fax machine, CD, DVD, then camera. All these are the output devices. And the touchscreen technology, or basic one is a monitor. So all of you know about this. Up to the 10th standard you have learned about input devices and the output devices. Now we will see about little bit more about the memory. So in case of memory, there are two type. One is a primary memory and second one is a secondary memory. In case of primary memory, there are two types of memories. One is a RAM and second one is a ROM. RAM means random access memory. ROM means read only memory. So RAM is required for a CPU for processing a data. So all of you know about, in case of mobiles or in case of computers, the speed of computer, it depends on the RAM. Means RAM is compatible with the processor. So if you have more capabilities processor, then you require more amount of RAM to perform the processor's work easily. So RAM is there. ROM means read only memory, the memory which is written by the manufacturer. Basically ROM contains commands or the instructions which are required for the when you start your PC or when you perform any activity, the processes or the instructions required that are stored in form of a ROM. Then comes to the next part. It is about secondary memory. So in case of secondary memory, there are the hard disk is there. So or we can call it as a hard disk, or we can call disk is there, which is used to main data of our computer. Next one is a CD DVD. Then a Blu-ray disc is there, USB pen drive or flash drive is there, memory cards and flash memory cards are there. So all these are called as a secondary memory storages or the devices, and which are used for data transfer as well as data store on a permanent basis. Next one about the units of memory. So in case of memory, nibble is the first one unit, then there is a bit, then 8 bit becomes 1 byte, then 1024 bytes become 1 KB, then 1024 KB becomes 1 MB, then 1024 MB becomes GB. Like that it will goes up to TB, that is a terabyte. PB is there, then EB is there, ZB is there, and YB is there. So all these about the memory units. Next we will see about what are the generations of the computers, means how the computers has invent. So you can see that there are 5 generations. First one, the first generation computers is from 1940 to 1956. It is first computer use vacuum tubes for circuitry and magnetic drums for memory. They were often enormous and taking up entire room. First generation computers relied on machine language. So in case of language, there are two types of languages: machine language and high level language. So currently we using the high level languages such as C, C++, Java, Python, etc. And machine level means the message directly understood by the machine. So in case of first generation, there was a machine language. Next one, so you can see about the images. So the first generation computers requires a single room to occupy the single computer. Next one is about second generation. It is from 1956 to 1963. So transistors replaced by vacuum tubes, means in case of first generation there was a vacuum tubes which are used for storing. Now in place of vacuum tubes there was a transistors. Second generation computers move from cryptic binary machine language to symbolic language. High level programming languages were also being developed at this time, such as a COBOL and Fortran. These were also the first computer that stored their instruction in their memory. So second generation machine, you can see there is a actual use of a memory devices. Then the third generation is from 1964 to 1971. So there is a use of a IC. So in first generation there was a vacuum tubes, then transistors, and then in case of third there was a IC, or we can call it as an integrated circuit. So transistors were miniaturized and placed on silicon chip called as semiconductors. Instead of punched cards and printouts, user interact with third generation computers through the keyboards and the monitors and interface with the OS or the operating system. Allow the devices to run many different applications at a one time, or we can call it as a multitasking PCs. Then the generation fourth, or you can see about it was a third generation PCs. Then fourth generation is from 1971 to present. The microprocessor brought the fourth generation of computer, as thousands of integrated circuits were built onto a single silicon chip. So Intel 4004 chip developed in 1971 located all the components of the computer. So from the CPU, the memory to input output devices on a single chip. So fourth generation components also saw the development of GUIs. GUI means graphical user interface, the mouse and the handheld devices. So you can see the fourth generation computers also, the devices. And the last one, or we can call it as a present. So fifth generation computer devices based on AI means artificial intelligence, are still in development. Through there are some applications such as a voice recognition, parallel processing is there. The goal of fifth generation computing is to develop devices that respond to natural language input and are capable of learning and self organization. So you can see the fifth generation computers which are looks like a current day computers. One more point is there, which is a mobile OS or the application. So it is about mobile devices and the mobile OS for working in today's days. And last point is about BIOS. BIOS means basic input output devices which are required at the time of starting PC and at the time of closing the PC. So here we have completed our first unit, which is about computer components or the basic computer organizations. Thank you.